So hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginner. This is video 26 and we continue with setting up multiplayer just for testing. So if you don't want this, you don't have to, but it's very important. Like I said, later we have less work and let's go, let's start. So where we left off was here. We was in the game mode, which exists later only on the server, and what we are going to do now is create this code from scratch instead of showing you all that what here is. So what you have to do is you go to the game mode which you use, then here we go here on functions, and if you hover over function there will pop up an override menu. You click on the override menu and then you choose player start. If you clicked on this choose player start, this window will pop up, and this is a function now. This function, normally when we create a function we have to call them, but this function already was built in the engine and comes from start as a default and was set up, and we are going to change it only. So, and how we are going to change it, the first thing what you see probably is this one. There should be nothing, something like this, and then we going to create our code which we changes. So here one note, I will only explain the nodes, not the background programming stuff. For that you need probably a basic tutorial to understand all the programming stuff, but I will show you the nodes which we are going to use, and I'll explain why we are using them. First of all, here let's start with our map. What we have here, we have your player start. So this is the place where the player can start, and I want later that the player starts here individually on each play. So the first thing what I want is get this player start, and how we are going to get this, there is a node, and this node is called get all actors of class, and this node is just getting all actors of class, which means not only what you can see here on the right side or in your scene, it will literally get all actors in your project. So let me show you how you can see that. When you press this one, and you see you have here a big list, and these are all actors which exist right now in your project. But you are not interested in this big list. You are only interested in one actor right now, for example player controller. I want this one. So first of all we write player start, not player controller, sorry, player start, and this one I'm interested in. So this one, this node finds now this player start, and the next thing is we want to use a loop after this. And why we use a loop now? For each loop, you find the node for each loop. But why we use a loop? Very easy. This actor is not the only actor who, I mean the only player start. I have defined a player start, but we have here different kind of player starts. But you will say, hey, wait a minute, they are called player start 1 or player start 2 and player start 3, like you can see here. But actually when you see the type, this one is just a player start. The type is just a player start, and this node is checking this one. So when you write here player start, this one will just check this one here and will find them. And that's why we need a loop, because it should find not only one, because without a loop it will only find one, and I want find all. The next thing is, after I find all, how I distinguish them, right? Because okay, I found now 3, but how the hell I distinguish them? And here we use a little bit comparison. So we write a branch. A branch means all time a checker, or it is called a if clause in programming normally, but I call it, just think about it, it checks a condition. Check this, and what it should check, it should check if this player start has a special condition. And what is this condition? We have to see. So the next thing is, okay, I know I want to check something, but from what I want to check something, here I get the first array element. So what I'm going to write is this one, the for each loop will find all three. And from the first one, which is find, I want that he should check something. And there are different ways to check. One way which we are going to use is we are using the player start tag. Let's drag this out here and say write player start tag, and there is this one, and then you set get player start tag, and we compare this one. This player start tag is just a name later. Let me show you where this is fast. When I click on my player start here in details panel, and when you delete this all and go to all, here are many properties, and all these properties I can access with this one. For example, this one has now selected one player start, for example this one, and now with this one, when I drag out from array element this, I can access these properties here. And I'm interested in player start tag, this one. But there is one more tag. Careful when you write tag, for example, there are tags which is very useful later. You can name here your own names here. Tag means just naming, by the way. And you can see we are using this player start tag, and here you can name it and it's nothing here. Nice. Which means it's empty, and that's okay too for our case. And then you say, okay, the player start, I check if I have assigned a name on it. And how I make this, I assign a name on it. Let's make this first. Let's go here, and we write again player start tag, but this time we set it, right? So here we check it, and here we set it. At the start it has nothing, and later it should have, for example, taken. And if this one is assigned later, but let's do this here, is assigned, I will this one will be my check statement. And how I make this, there is another node which is, probably this one. When I make two equal signs, this would be equal, for example, if I write taken. But in this case, I will write it should not equal. And the reason for this one is I make here not equal. You can write not equal. I make this because I want to achieve it should be not assigned at start. Then I know it is empty. That's the reason why I said here taken. Here I say taken, and I use this strange node not equal. Okay, but let's continue. So this branch checks now. It gets the taken name. It checks if the name is not taken, and if it's empty or another name, it should do something. And what I want to do is, now you should set the name. I know you are empty or there is anything other in this place. I want that you set this to taken, so I know exactly this one I have used right now. And then I say, okay, I'm finished almost. I need also assign here a return value. Okay, I put this one here because this one will be then assigned. But careful, we are not finished with the code. What happens here now? Let's get rid of this one because this was just the same here. So why I'm not finished? Because this is a loop. A loop means it starts here on top. It goes. It goes till this return node, and it will go and start again for the next player start. So what it does here is it checks this. Let's say it activates this one. Then it goes here. It checks the player start tag, and if the player start tag is not the same name as here, it will set this to taken, and then it will start over again till it has all the player start tags which it has found here before. And so I think you get the idea, right? It is just looping here 1 and set and check only this value, no more or less, and then it set it. So we can test this because I think that's important. What we can do here now is go here on top, compile and save, and there should be no errors, and save all one more time. And very important, one more step here, check your settings. Let's test for free settings, but you can make even more. Should be also no problem, but now the other ones will be probably not used. It's okay. And when I start now, you can see all the characters take different positions, and that was my goal. And the last thing, we set this just for 2. Mode is okay. And this one we will use later for checking some settings, for example, replication. So we will not use this all time. It's just later when I code or there are critical things, we will check this as a replication. But we set this up. Let's see if we can use it now as a standalone game. I said it is easy to go back to a single player game. What we do is just we go here and write 1. 1 and go here to play standalone, and when you make this one, you see and that's what I mentioned at start. It's very easy to go from a multiplayer game to a single player game. Now I can play this as single player, but if I would change later to multiplayer, then I would set up this and the players, and there comes much more code later which you have to set up, and that's too difficult. That's why we make it from the start. But in our case, we are starters. We are just watching this and checking it out, and perhaps we use not, but as an info, it's not bad. So with that said, I stop this video. It was again long, but I hope it helped. And in the next video, we are continue a little bit, but we are continue with single player, so you get not irritated. And this multiplayer, we just set it sometimes up for checking if all is replicated and fine and so on. Okay, bye and see you in the next video. Bye.